Welcome back once again, everybody. Here to try one that has been on a lot of favorites lists in all the years that I've been doing this. It's called the Sugar Rush Peach. We'll be right back, and we're going to give this baby a bite. So we have Nikolai just off camera, well, almost off camera down here. Little Sleepy is right here next to me. They hear me come outside and they suddenly want to be around. Ain't that right, buddy? Yeah, it's been a couple weeks since I posted my last video. This is one of the ones I was looking forward to. This behind me is my raised bed that I spoke about in the last one. I think I got the hold of it. Yeah, look at that. I'm holding it right there in my fingers. Perfect. It's a little bit died down. It had more earlier in the year. I've cut out a couple of plants. I had a huge tomato plant in there, but it ran its full course and started to look terrible and stopped producing, so I just cut it out and replaced it with some lettuce. That's starting to pick up now. I should have good salads coming soon. Hooray! Yeah, nothing really has been going on since the last video, not a whole lot of updates. We are rapidly approaching Halloween, so I figured I would try something with a bit of a pumpkin-y color to it. So this is the Sugar Rush Peach. I have done a little bit of research on this, but probably should do just a smidge more. And I'm going to find out what Sleepy is chasing down there and make sure it's not a snake. And I'll be right back. Well, that's irritating. Sleepy wasn't chasing after anything, but in the time it took me to walk down there and walk back, the physical keyboard attachment to my Galaxy Tab S3, I know it's an old one, has ceased to function. I'm not sure why. I've restarted the tablet, I've disconnected it, I've cleaned all the connector ports to it, and I guess it's just done. I will tinker around with it at another time, but for now, we are here to go into a little more detail about this. The plant is very yellowed and not doing great, so I'm not going to bother going down there to show that off. It's not super impressive, but I was able to get, like I showed you earlier, a few of these on there from there today. The Sugar Rush Peach is from the Bacatum family. That I probably should have known that from the size of the calyxes here. This little part that connects, they splay out real wide, and that's usually something that you see on a lot of the Bacatums, the Bishop's Crown specifically, the Ahi Fantasy. Now I know that those are wider peppers, but they almost like fingers, and they come up off a little bit because they're so big they actually come up a little bit. It's warm. It's not super hot, but it's supposed to have a little bit of bite to it. It says a little bit of smoky flavor. We'll see. The flavor is, I feel like flavor's not just whether you like it or not, but the actual flavor itself is subjective. I think different people taste different things, even though it's the same peppers. Like, how do you describe orange to someone without using the color orange? Like, what we see may not be what another person sees. You know, it's unlikely to be true, but you know. With that, I would like to know what this tastes like. I'm very curious because I've wanted to try one of these for a long time. So let's go in, shall we? I immediately get the sweetness of the other Bacatums. This is similar to the Ahi Fantasy and the Bishop's Crown, but it does have a little bit of zing to it. Just a little though. Again, not a ton. A good firm crunch to it. The walls are neither super thick nor super thin. Very nice fresh flavor. I don't get any of the smokiness. I do get all the sweetness though. I'd say so far, just about a minute into biting it here, we're at about a 3 out of 10 on the heat, something like that. This is definitely not something that that you couldn't handle if you're just getting into this. It's actually rather pleasant. Haha, I'm outside. I can spit out seeds like that. So, okay. Conclusions on taste. Macadams have a similar flavor between them. The Bishop's Crown, at least the ones that I've grown, and I grew them for a few years, had less flavor than the Ahi Fantasy. And the Ahi Fantasy and this one are pretty close. I might say that the Fantasy has a little bit more, but I also think that it might be because it's just a bigger pepper overall with a thicker wall. But the flavor profile is very similar, and wow. Again, I don't like eating seeds, so. The heat is nearly negligible on this one. This one would be a fantastic one to snack on, especially if you're not the kind that gets squeamish at the taste of seeds floating around in the back there. Okay, so flavor. I mean, I said the heat was a 3 out of 10. It may not even be that high. I've tasted jalapenos that were way hotter than this. Now, there very well may be Sugar Rush Peaches that are hotter than this one, but this is the one that I have. So, flavor, gosh, it's top tier. I'll say that. If you want something to snack on, and you want something to snack on that's not going to hurt you, but is not going to be just completely bland like eating any raw vegetable, highly suggest you grow a Sugar Rush Peach. The plant was incredibly productive. I didn't take a video until later in the season. Laziness, abject laziness, we'll put it that way. And you can just deal with it, okay? But yeah, there's still quite a few on the plant. There's some that I left on there a little too long, so I'm going to probably grab a few of those, and if the seeds are in good shape, I'll save those because they're like very ready. And I would like to grow this again next year. I think a good use for this might be to slice it and to lightly pickle it. I don't know that a lot of vinegar would be necessary, but maybe just a low salt brine would be pretty good, just to keep to try and maintain the flavor of this. Although this might ferment really well too, because it is very sweet. I don't know if the camera is going to pick it up, but there is a train coming, so I am going to end the video here. I don't know how much more I've got going this season. This was the one that I was really excited about. I'm going to look again. Hopefully I can get at least one more done. Next year should be better. And yeah, I will see you around. Take care of yourselves and happy Halloween.